Welcome to another episode of What Day Is It? Your favorite animal podcast that recently hasn't been so much animal and a whole lot more bantering. But that's okay. We're still getting our points across. Today, I have two beautiful men across the table from me. Fluffy per usual, and we have our buddy Brant here. How are you today, man?
I'm good, man. Doing well.
Good, man. Glad to hear it. So, Fluffy here, he's here every week. Brant, his cultural significance is he was actually an old employee at Jodan Farms with us. So we bringing on an old timer today. Maybe we'll ask him some questions and how he felt about the old company and, about animals and shit like that. But before we, deep dive in, I figure we'll talk a little bit about our week, where we're at so far, how last week went. So, Fluffy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Seen a baby deer on my way to work today.
That's cute.
It was running with me. I was like, that can't be a coyote because it was a little dusk yet. That can't be a coyote. I get closer to it, little baby deer. Right down the street here.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the one that's been hanging out in the field in the back.
No, baby.
Oh, baby.
Fawn, like.
Still spotted.
Oh, yeah. Baby, like. Mama probably got,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey.
It was by itself. I was kind of worried. So it was running with my truck for a little bit. And I was like, what are you doing, man? And he stops he turns into the road. He stops. I'm like, good idea. And he just laid down there. I'm like, good choice, man. Good choice.
Good choice. So, yeah, we got the mom and fawn running around in the back here, and it's been super cute. Probably won't see them now that the fields are cut, to hide in the grass. Yeah, it's baby season. Let me fucking tell you. Last week our skunk had a litter of 7 babies. Only 4 made it, but they're doing good so far. Everybody is happy and healthy so far. Yeah, we were going to take her to get an ultrasound, and the day I went to grab her, she bit the shit out of me. I've had her for 2 years and she's never hurt anyone. She's sweet. And I was like, yeah, you're pregnant. Took her to the vet. She got the ultrasound. Vet's like, yeah, she's pregnant, but bring her back in a couple days. We only see maybe 1 or 2 or whatever. And turns out she gave birth before we left.
Damn.
Yeah. So
that's why they only seen 1 or 2.
No wonder she was pissed at me, and I didn't hear them, and she put them in. She has a soft little cat house thing. I didn't expect her to, lay in there, and sure as shit did. I put her back and I heard squeaks and I was like, shut the fuck up, man. The doctor was like, yeah, she's probably around 40 days or so. And I was like, well, apparently she's farther than that.
They were close.
So that's been cool. I've really just been leaving mama be, I don't want to wake up every 2 hours through the night to feed these guys or nothing like that. And fucking babies, man, they eat a lot. They take a lot. Did you ever raise anything for the farm?
Gunther? The lion?
That don't count. I mean, that counts as help
not
raise,
taking home or anything.
Yeah, like a small fucking annoying animal,
Nope.
because it sucks, man. You got, 4 or 5 of whatever. You wake up every 2 hours, and the babies eat a lot more than you think. Every feeding, this little, baby that's the size of one of my fingers is eating 2 milliliters of milk. Like, it's
that
fucking,
frequently, too. Right?
Yeah, it's fucking treacherous, man. I wish that shit on nobody. I mean, babies are fun, and, like, the feeling you get when they're grown up and, like, they're at the stage of, like, okay, you're gonna make it. Like, it feels great, but it's fucking stressful for sure. And
yeah.
so, Eric is out of town, and so he calls me 2 days ago, and he's like, "Hey, man, a raccoon fell out of a tree across the street. I'm not home. Can you go get it?" I'm like, "Fuck." God damn it. First of all, I want nothing to do with any more babies than I'm not responsible for.
Yeah.
I probably said that backwards, but I don't want, we do help animals here from time to time, but that time is when I have time. And right now, I just bluntly, I don't, So we went and picked it up, and anyway, pawned it off on Haley, which she was more excited for it than I was, for sure.
Gives her a hobby.
Yeah, for real. So I was like, you need something to do, and here you go. And so then another one fell out of the tree, and then another one fell out of the tree. So Haley has 3 raccoons right now, which, her clinic, Bristol Vet, they do rehab there. The doctor has a rehab permit. currently they have like the raccoons and then a possum. They have a fawn there. Which
I could have brought the baby there.
I'm like 90% sure that's touching deer is illegal. I think they're just doing. God damn it, Brant.
Sorry.
I think
First time, huh?
they're just doing it. I put my bottom dollar that even rehab's taking in deer.
Well, I was like, I looked at him. I'm like, I kind of want to grab him. Like
Is it because it's a game animal?
No, it's because of
chronic waste, right? Yeah.
CWD. Okay.
Yeah, they're real hectic on that. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like, you need to get your deer tested before you even eat it after you hunt and blah blah blah. But like, theories on it. People say that you can't transfer from deer to human. People hunt all the time and eat the shit out of them. Like, we don't get that shit.
Right.
But yeah, that's why. And at that is as much as like I do like helping other animals. I'm at the point where there's so much shit going on here. I don't need to be bringing outside illness into the zoo.
No,
I don't want to do that.
So then your quality of care would like go down for the animals you do have.
Absolutely. So here's something we're going to talk about. So I got really ticked off at Haley yesterday because she messaged me in the morning and she was like, Megan, her doctor, said that we should take the raccoon and try and put it in with the mama skunk and see if she'll raise it with the skunks.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I was like,
stress the mother out with newborns.
I said, huh? And she said, well, it's just a suggestion. And I said, are you fucking kidding? And she said, why? No. And I was like, I guess I don't remember, what I said directly after this, but basically I was like, all right, so we have a raccoon out of the wild that is going in with a mom that just gave birth to captive skunks. Where we could be bringing in parasites, we could be bringing in outside, other forms of illness. The mom that has always loved us now hates me. She is sure as fuck not going to take in a raccoon, and the raccoon is about the size of mom, like, and I'm thinking that this baby raccoon is 2 to 3 weeks old, and the doctor's like, I think it's only about 5 days old, and raccoons, they're born about yay big. Couple inches. This motherfucker is probably already this big. He's about the size, at least my whole hand. And raccoons, they do grow incredibly quick. And I'm no fucking raccoon expert, but I've raised enough that didn't make it too far because I have a brown thumb with raccoons to realize that they're kind of old. So I told Haley, I was like, look, tell me which day their eyes open, and then we'll subtract and figure out how old they are, because I think them motherfuckers older in 5 days. But moral of the story, so I'm not taking an outside wild animal and putting it in with an animal that just gave fucking birth.
Right.
That's pissed off.
That's pissed off. And then
they're vulnerable. The babies are super vulnerable.
The babies are super. You're fucking correct. You're 100% correct. They're susceptible to everything. Their immune systems could be heavily compromised. Like that I didn't really talk to her for the rest of the day. And I was so pissed at her. And like, that was just the most negligent idea that you could have ever fucking said in your life. And don't get me wrong, I like her doctor. She does shit well and blah, 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 blah. She comes out here and fixes my animal. I really don't have a bad thing to say about the woman. She's a good doctor. But I told Haley, I was like, look, man, just because it's a doctor giving you the idea doesn't mean it's a good idea. Like, that is some crazy fucking shit. Now, if you rescued a possum and a raccoon and a skunk, they're all rescues out of the wild, sure, fuck it, put them together. They're all out of the wild. They could all be carrying the same illnesses, deworm them and fucking go for it, But like, I'm not compromising my animals that I know are not ill. That's fucking nuts. And I mean, she did bite the shit out of me, so maybe I'll die of rabies and I'll just be proved wrong out of everybody. It's fine. She was raised here since she was 3 days old.
I do see a little foam, but
don't say that. I'm a hypochondriac.
I know.
When the rage comes, you'll know.
I mean, even for real, even Niffler, the daddy skunk that came from an AZA accredited zoo, he was born in captivity. he bit the shit out of me, and I was panicking for like 3 weeks.
Oh yeah,
Like
I remember that.
I was fucking checking my temperature daily, and this
With
and
anal.
that. Like, yeah, sure, with my ass.
Well, no, with the ass thermometer. That's the best reading, right?
It's the quickest way, right?
Yeah.
So like, whether it's a wild animal that bites me or a one that's in
You just don't
captivity,
know.
the little ones freak me out, you know. And so
And they
I
hurt
just-
more.
They do fucking hurt more. To this day, you know, the last thing I got bit by again was a skunk. The first thing I ever got bit by here was a fucking skunk. I'm not great with the little animals, you know, and I do my damnedest for sure, but
Yeah,
it just is what it is. But no wonder she bit me. I took her from her fucking babies on accident, you know, I'd have been pissed too.
well, like the fox got me the other day, and it didn't draw blood or anything, but
Well, the fox, that's what foxes
I was
do.
expecting it.
That's how they say hello.
Yeah.
They bite you.
It was
That's what they
Leo's
do.
bitten me harder.
Right.
So my dog,
Well, Leo, you know, Leo's retarded.
he's broken.
Leo's special.
I started
He's
giving
a
him
special
soft.
boy.
I started giving him soft food too.
Did you?
Yeah, the smart fucker eats around all the hard food now, even when you stir it up. Bastard.
But he sure eats his carrots.
He loves carrots. Not so much broccoli though.
I don't like broccoli either.
I don't blame him
So, I
either.
mean, put some cheese on it, see if it changes.
Yeah, I
his
fuck with
demeanor.
that.
So that's kind of been like the most exciting news in my week. We got baby skunks.
What about
Yeah.
the zebra?
The zebra. I don't
We don't know a whole lot about it.
I don't have
but
my phone.
You've seen that, right?
Look that up. I don't have my phone on
A
me. So
zebra?
there was a pet zebra or something that got loose this week, and it was running around. Fluffy's pulling it up.
Where?
He's pulling it up. I don't know. They ended up they darted it, I guess, sedated it, and they flew it away with a helicopter. There's pictures of it. I don't know where the fuck it was coming from.
Yeah,
Maybe
look at him.
someone had dealt with zebras before, and he was like, "We ain't
It was
taking
in
no
It
chances."
was in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A runaway pet zebra has been captured in Tennessee. Click it. Let's see.
There was a sheep.
read the
in
article
Milwaukee I
for
was
us.
reading today, and they were freaking out about just the one sheep running loose in Milwaukee.
Yeah, motherfucker got
Oh.
8.
So a runaway pet zebra. So it was somebody's pet, not a zoo. That's that was on the loose for more than a week in Tennessee.
Damn,
That fucker was having the time of his life.
causing mayhem, I'm sure.
Became an internet sensation when he was captured Sunday, authorities said. Ed, the zebra, love the name. Hate zebra.
Mr. Ed.
I remember Mr. Ed. I loved him. They found him in a pasture near a subdivision in the Christina Community, Central Tennessee. Rutherford County Sheriff Office confirmed the sheriff office said aviation crews captured the zebra. That, like, if I'm flying a helicopter, that's got to be the best passenger, right?
Yeah,
I hate zebra, but Ed was airlifted and flown by helicopter back to a waiting animal trailer, the sheriff office said in a statement.
So, was he sedated? He had to have been.
Wrapped in a net with head sticking out, it looks adorable in that net.
It does. It doesn't look as deadly.
I'm not really seeing if they darted him.
Well, how the fuck did they catch it with
They
the
had
net
to have
without
darted
it?
him.
Had to have been sedated.
Yeah.
Man. There's no way.
Ed dining. Oh, the zebra quickly became the subject of internet memes, of course.
Yeah.
One fake posting showed Ed dining at a Waffle House in Southern Staple. Others had him visiting Tennessee cities or panhandling on the side of the road. Yeah, nothing about darting, though. I don't see anything in this report. I'm sure they had to, though.
I had saw some people in like the Facebook comment section going back and forth about it and stuff too. But there are a lot of people that were upset about it. They're like, that poor zebra, he's in this, you know, he's freaking out up there. And half the comments were like, he's in La La Land. Right?
For real.
Like, what the fuck are you talking?
He's having the time of his... He just got to run around for a whole week, which I find hilarious. So I seen a video of him running down the freeway, too.
Mhm.
And I was like, he's having the time of his life right now. This is great. And then he gets drugged up and then, you know, flown on an airplane or a helicopter.
When zebras fly.
Dude, let me get on it. Yeah. Let me get airlifted by a helicopter.
There was a camel in Michigan at a zoo Jason took me to. We were working camels. It was not Garland. That's where you went.
Yeah.
And fuck, I can't
Beautiful
remember.
zoo, by the way.
They had anyway, this place had a camel named Scooby that he was known for getting out, and he ended up at this zoo. I think he passed away last year, but Scooby was a fucking escape artist.
nice.
He was a beautiful escape artist for sure. And he ended up at that zoo that I just can't remember the fucking name of. Jason was just there, I think, last week.
He was at
or
Garland for
weeks
one of
ago.
them.
He stopped. He went from, I think, he might have stopped at Deer Tracks, went to Garland, and then this place.
Some
And
other
he's
place,
probably
yeah.
at Terry's too. I don't know.
Yeah, he did, I think.
Animals running around and escaping, like from a professional standpoint, it's fucked up. Like we don't want that.
No, it's terrifying.
It is funny.
Oh, yeah.
It is fucking funny. Like, imagine the first call they got. Like, excuse you saw what, ma'am? What? So, what are you smoking? Are you high? You know, like.
Well, it's Tennessee. I don't think it's legal there, so maybe she was on acid.
She's tripping off of something. I said, ma'am, is it black with white stripes or white with black stripes? Just totally fuck with her. It's Marty from Madagascar. He's running next to my house.
The only zebra I liked.
Facts. And in Tennessee, man, I mean, they're so, I mean, I shouldn't talk for all of Tennessee, but it's so bumfuck down there too, you know,
Yeah.
some areas. They probably
Yeah.
Except for Nashville, really, but
I've never been.
no,
I would like to go. I know that's where all women love to go for their bachorette parties.
because all the bands.
All the bands, country music
music
stars.
Yes.
Might run into Dirk Bentley
Yeah.
while we're down
wear the
there.
white boots. It's like a uniform.
Facts. They took a trip to Boot Barn for the first time just to go to Nashville, you know?
I just want to go to a Predators game. That's about it.
I don't know what the fuck is Predators.
Hockey, NHL.
That's Admiral's farm team,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They used to have a shirt, all roads through Milwaukee lead to Nashville.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I've never been I've been to one hockey game in my life.
Doesn't make sense to have us because you'd think we'd feed the Blackhawks, but I think that's Ice Hogs or Wolves. I think it's Wolves. I don't know.
no idea.
No, it's Wolves. Yeah.
No
I don't know.
goddamn idea.
Don't care. Blackhawk. Fuck the Blackhawks.
Facts. So, in other news, the Camel Caravan is live. We are taking reservations finally
Hell yeah.
for World Camel Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We have one full booking so far, so we have 7 left. We'll see if we get anybody. I don't know. If not, we're still gonna fuck around and hang out with camels for the day because it's World Camel Day.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anybody's listening, you want to come ride some camels, book Wisconsin's very first camel caravan. It's gonna be fucking cool. The pastures got cut yesterday. That was cool. It's nice to see them mowed down. It's been a kind of a lollygag week around here, which is not terrible. We've just been doing a lot of cleaning up.
Chill.
Yeah, it's been chill.
With Sid, too, it's been a lot of help.
He's been busting ass,
Yep.
man, for sure. I appreciate him. So I guess, Brant's here. We need to talk about some Brant, man. How are you doing? Like, what's going on in your world?
I'm all right, man. I'm just surviving, thriving. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, man. Nobody likes to talk to us.
No, nobody shows
I don't
up.
understand why, man. We go back. I mean, obviously we all work together, but we have some incredible stories, and I just think what you're doing out here is awesome. This camel caravan is such a unique thing. I can't think of anywhere I've been where I've really seen that be a thing.
And you were in
And-
Egypt.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I mean, this is Wisconsin, and we have camels.
Well, there's 3 running camel caravans in the country right now. 2 of them are in Florida, about an hour away from each other, owned by the same guy that Bob built. And then there's one in Vegas that I don't really think is operating that heavily right now due to staffing issues and probably some money issues. So there's only a handful of them around, and I've been to all 3 of them. I've worked all 3 of them.
Okay.
Before we get back into Brant, sorry. I did have a guy message me today.
Mhm.
He messaged me like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Do you remember Jason and me talking about Taza at all? The camel trainer,
Yeah.
MJ."
Mm-hmm.
He messaged me today. I put them pictures up of us, doing training yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" So I was like, "What's up?" Because it's kind of weird when you message like a grown man and you've never talked to him before, and you're like, and your first message is, "Hey, how are you?" Like, what do you mean, how am I? I don't know who you are.
Nice try, ISIS.
So I message him back, and I'm like, "I'm good, man. What's up? How are you?" And he's like, "Good." And he's like, "Mind if I give you some advice?" And I just was like, And look, man, I'm not, I'm not super egotistical. At least I don't try to be. And I do take advice. But look, I've been working camels since I was 15. What are you coming to talk about? Okay. And I said, if you want, yeah, sure. And he didn't really end up giving me advice. His message was along the lines of, In my past, I didn't have, or I had bad things happen tying camels together with their saddle, saddle to halter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. I was like, look, man, the camels and the saddles, they both have quick links attached to them, or so we can quickly, pull them apart. They all have lead ropes still attached to them in case of emergencies. We can walk them away. Like this is all very well thought through. There's someone in back for emergency purposes. There's 2 walkers all the time. Like I've been practicing caravans for a long time.
You probably one of the experts in the country. To be
me and Jason are probably the only 2 that have stepped foot in every one that is running now.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's been a few other caravans in the country that no longer exist.
Yeah.
That obviously I was not a part of. I've never been to a train. I never went to, just for my pleasure. But out of all the ones that are operating right now, I've been to all of them. And the guy that built the 2 most successful ones in the country in Florida was our fucking boss.
Mm-hmm.
We had it up top, and I wasn't rude. I was not rude at all. I explained the caravan and this, and this, but like motherfuckers don't know who I am.
Yeah, it's like, what was your advice? You're just telling me about your negative experience.
If I wanted to give somebody advice on that, I would have been like, hey, maybe do it this way, or hey, like there wasn't much. And maybe it's because I rebutted with how I'm doing things that he didn't lay into it. But I was like, look, man, when these camels are getting trained, we don't have to tie them saddle to halter. We can tie them with harnesses to camel. And while we're not damaging saddles at that point and there's less tugging, if bullshit happens, them camels are still stuck together, regardless of how they're tied together. Yeah. The ropes might be a little more lenient, but what were you going to say?
Well, what, how else are you supposed to tie them in a caravan, though?
You tie them you put a harness on them.
Okay, so you want to have a harness and saddle on them?
Well, I guess, so there would be a harness underneath the saddle. There's a few ways to do it.
I get it, but it's like
there's another, so you can put the harness, which then would be underneath the saddle pad, which could cause sores.
Yeah.
There's other ways, like you can put a ring on the side of the saddle, and then the rope runs through the ring, which is still nonetheless attached to the saddle. However, it's not like as bluntly attached to the end of the saddle, so the camels can kind of maneuver a little better. But if one camel runs off, it's still taking the other one with it.
Yeah.
I genuinely think, in my professional opinion, just having quick links attached to everything is the easiest way you can go.
That one, when they get tension, they just kind of separate, right?
You grab it, and when you pull it down, it unclips instantly. I think that's the best way to go about things, and these camels, they're all incredibly safe. And I was like, look, these boys are veterans. Even Newton, he's new, but he's a fucking veteran. And I wouldn't have these guys in this caravan if I wasn't ready. Like, Flynn's not going to touch that caravan until he's fucking stone cold,
no.
These boys are ready to do it. And fuck Doofus, he started Lex's caravan, like he's one of the OG caravan.
Oh, it was him, Omar, and who else?
Fuck, I don't know. That was a Jason question. But you still go on Lex's website, it's Doofus walking around.
That's so funny.
Like he's in pamphlets and shit, he's the OG, man. Like, so, I wasn't rude, obviously he doesn't know much about me. And when I say shit like that, I'm not trying to seem arrogant. Like, I'm not this world renowned camel guy, but we know what we're doing, and I wouldn't be launching a public caravan if I was nervous for the public or my camels.
Think of the risk.
I've been in plenty of caravan situations where one camel turned out to be unhappy and he started tugging on a saddle. What did we do? Quick link. That's it. And all you have to do is not be afraid to get in between them camels. But generally, look, camels, they're all trained. We get the kicks out of them. They're not kickers or nothing like that. And camels, as big as they are, and they move a little quicker than you think they can. Honestly, it's really, really, really easy to get between the ass of the camel and the head and just grab the quick link. It's really not a big deal. I'm sure he's got a good reputation himself, and this and that. I'm sure he's got some some clients that would speak highly of him. So I'm not here to downgrade anybody or downplay anybody. It's nothing to do like that. But I'm not some random guy on Facebook with camels. Like, I've been doing this for a long time. And this is, once I get some fucking money and we get some animals out there and some trees and this and that, man, this is going to be the premium fucking camel caravan.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as cool as Lex's because he can do shit that, we can't do year round, but that's the fucking like draft ranch, man. That is the camel caravan in the country. Or safari wilderness down there, man. That's fucking exquisite shit, man. It was an honor to be able to work there and work with them camels and learn there, like
this is some gourmet shit.
It fucking is some gourmet shit. But that was on my mind. I wanted to get that off because I was kind of like, excuse me, like I don't.
I beg your fucking pardon. Nah.
Kind of.
I get it though. Like everybody's got like if you see a camel ride out in the wild, you're gonna be like, well, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Not wrong, but I wouldn't do it that way.
Right. There's a million and one ways to do it right, but what we're doing isn't unsafe. The weirdest thing I've seen out of all the camel rides I've seen, I saw one last year in Illinois where they put the front girth over the cush pad on his chest. That was strange, but it wouldn't hurt nothing. It's weird, but it wouldn't hurt nothing.
I guess it's more stable in some ways.
I wouldn't fucking do it, but
whatever.
Ruin
the girth pad. But
yeah, over time it sure probably.
It's just a hard chunk of meat,
right?
Or flesh. I don't know.
And then we moved over to tie the girths together. We moved over to paracord. I still see people using dog collars from time to time, like we used to do here. You know, which it's just uncomfortable when they lay down. But anyway, yeah, Brant used to work here. Brant spent some time here with the camels, man. Tell us, what do we want to hear, man? Do you remember the first time you met Bob or no?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'm pretty sure because I started working here when I was younger with Aaron, with just like, oh, we need extra people on this job or that job.
Yep.
And I succinctly remember my first one was, I think, Miller Electric. And I had to stand in for you because you got mad and kicked the trailer and that put a little spike through your foot.
It was a bolt. It was like a 1/4-inch bolt. And that is actually my worst work story. Remember when I said I sliced my finger open? Nah, dude, that bolt with the rubber in my foot. Yeah, that was the worst.
In his foot.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
the whole thing is he's supposed to be like lead man on this job, right?
Manager.
I was planned to like learn how to walk the camels and get, kind of like me showing the ropes on everything, but it was kind of like a split decision. Bob's like, hey, you're walking the camel today. He's like, I'll show you. So we got up there. Bob drove. And he kind of put off some stuff that he had to do. I think he had to go to dialysis later that day and everything.
Sure.
And we set up like record time, got all the fences up, the little mini zoo.
You had a petting zoo?
Ponies. Yeah, we had a petting zoo. A couple
dialysis.
Yeah, I think he was doing dialysis for his kidneys or something. Because I know with
diabetics,
do
diabetics do dialysis?
Yeah, because it can be, some of your medicines for diabetes can be really hardcore on your kidneys. I guess.
Anyway.
But yeah, anyway, so I get up there and I believe it was Doofus, and he's like,
probably.
And Aaron had told me like, yeah, he kind of can give you shit, but just don't take no shit. Like, stop him. You can be a little more like aggressive with him because he's a big boy. He's gonna, he's got to feel it. Don't be timid. And as soon as we got him started walking, it was great. But man, yeah, I was pretty nervous about that. This towering guy above me, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta walk people on you.
And he's not even big, like
not like Flynn, no.
Doofus is one of few camels I've met though that understands his own strength.
Oh yeah,
he's
always known that shit.
Yeah, he pushes the buttons.
Oh yeah.
So Aaron would be like, hey, back him up.
Well, how'd that day go for you? Did he give you any trouble?
Once or twice, and then I just did what I was told, and he was good. And I think I switched out with somebody at one point to do the ride, but I mean it was a quick day, and it was a rewarding experience.
If that was Miller Electric, you just have bad luck with Miller, dude. Because the one time you were there, it was me and a bunch of other people, and Bill Hoffman was there, and with the monkeys and all that shit, and that's when you turned too tight with the camel, which debatably could have been the camel's fault, and sliced that girl's foot open on that post.
No, that wasn't Miller.
That was definitely Miller.
Nope, that was at a county fair. That wasn't at a county fair, but I was at a county fair grounds.
Company picnic. That was Miller Electric.
That was Kohler.
That
was Kohler toilet seats. Kohler bathroom. Yep. 1,000%.
Is that?
Yep.
Okay.
1,000%, because it was not at that park.
Were there trees? That's about the big
It was at a
difference.
fair park.
Yeah, Miller's not at a fair
and
park.
and they had they had the swine and rabbit barns and shit for the fair, and
Yeah.
that job was dope though. All you could eat anything,
Mhm.
Dippin' Dots, burgers, sweet corn. Oh man.
Yeah, that was Kohler. I'm almost positive because
Sure.
it was at I forget what county fair that the area.
It's up north,
West
West-
North, I think.
west,
Northwest, yeah.
west north.
But it,
West
I
north.
know I know because we used to the first time I did Miller Electric, there was a skate park outside of it. I was like, oh, I gotta get back there. I have no idea where it's at now. And now they got a disc golf course around the place.
Oh.
You would know that.
Yes, I do.
So, when you started with the farm, like, was there anything that you were a little, timid of the camels, which is understandably huge, but was there anything that you were like absolutely no to? Were you scared of anything? Like, was it fun? Was it just a job? Let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you start out and you're like, yeah, I could use some extras. He paid in all cash, and it was cool. You're just getting
Hell yeah.
doing these weekend jobs at these, and it's always in fun events or whatever. And no, I don't remember really being scared of anything except for when we loaded Gunther up on a flatbed and built a cage around it.
We were talking about that the other
Yeah.
day.
Meaning that obviously, yeah, I love big cats, but yeah, Alex terrified me.
Well,
The first time meeting
Alex
him.
should terrify you.
Yeah, you could feel that.
There was like a burning hatred inside him, and I don't blame him. I mean, he wants to be out doing his thing, but yeah, what a majestic creature, but also terrifying.
Man. Yeah, Alex was not for me.
No.
Big ass tiger.
I do have actually a good Alex story. If you want to hear it.
Let's hear it.
There's one time where he just showed a different side of himself. I swear. And it's not me just reading into it. It was like clear like body language, and just his activity after this was nuts. The pool hadn't been cleaned in like a super long time, and the pen was kind of, overgrown and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so Bob's like, hey,
Still is.
he's like, hey, can you take care of this today? Like, it's, we got all this other stuff done basically. And it was like the end of the shift. And so I just like scrubbed it out, and it was so nasty. Like, I didn't know this, but tigers like to shit in the water. And
Shit, me too. We all do.
Yeah. It's like, I guess, it's like covering up your scent or whatever, but it makes the water obviously really nasty. So he wasn't doing no swimming. I scrubbed it out. Took like maybe a half hour to hour to fill that thing with like ice cold well water.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I did that and we let him back out of his shift in there, he kind of paced around a couple times and then just went in that pool. And I swear I seen him smile. Like, he was just the happiest cat in the world. Bless you.
Bless you.
And
jeez,
I'm
get your
like,
shit together.
This is a side of Alex I've never seen. Like, that cat was always pissed off. But when he got in that nice clean water and just on a hot summer day, man, he was living it up.
Yeah.
Like, he like chilled out for a little bit.
Right. That's super cool. I miss having them cats around, truly. Like, I wish the world was different and we could keep doing that. Not that we can't. It's too much bad juju these days,
Yeah.
It just doesn't look great anymore.
It don't,
Plus, it's so much more work for not a whole lot of like, ooh,
Right, and everything we do here is so up close, and people pet everything and hang out. It's illegal to let people mingle with cats now. So like, I can't do anything about it. I can't make money off of it, and not everything as always is about making money, but the animal, I need to be able to feed it.
Yeah, it needs to be able to earn its own food.
Right.
Much.
Them carnivores they're expensive as fuck. Fuck, the kookaburra is the most expensive thing here to feed, dude.
The cats were like, what, like 3 pounds of meat a day? Or more?
Much more than that.
Yeah.
8 pounds.
The smaller cats, and the wolf, so like the cougar and the wolf, they would do 3 pounds a day. And then Gunther and Alex did 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And then Sabrina would do, I think, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm no lion expert, but Gunther probably could have had the same pound as Sabrina. Alex was much larger than Gunther.
Such a big fucking cat.
He was
muscular.
He was a dumb fucking big ass cat. Like he was insane.
If that animal ever escaped, he would be like the number one, like, shoot it now, destroy it.
Absolutely. I can't believe we didn't have a gun on prop.
Oh, that'd be national news for sure.
Oh, I brought mine a lot just for that fuck.
And I told Bob all the time, I was like, we need to get, a different dart gun here, and we need to have a class and talk to everyone.
He talked about that for years.
He never did it.
No.
I tried, really honing him in on it, and it wouldn't happen, and they never bought another gun. And the problem with the gun is CO2 is compression, and you can't just grab it and put it up. You're going to shoot a hole in something. So we needed to have a class on that and teach people how to use it. I'm not saying give it to the 13-year-old, but like somebody needed to know how to use it.
Yeah,
and
a designated person.
Yeah, and at least a couple, the senior staff that are going to be at the zoo, because I mean, if that cat gets out, this can sound bad all you want, but if that cat got out, I would shoot it before I dart it. You have to. But like, if all you have is the dart gun, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, things would go bad fast.
Yeah, with that scary fucking bastard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, God forbid that the public was here, dude. Like,
game over.
Back in the day, before the inside of that barn was rebuilt, and he was just held to the fucking wall, his pen was held to the wall with fucking just like
nothing.
Yeah, literally like rings, that, and it's just made out of hog panel. And every time he would jump on that thing, it would just shake.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like when I would lock his pen for the night inside, I would just run outside.
I don't blame you.
Of the elephant barn, like. It was the most sketchy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking insane. Though I will say, when he had kittens, that was magical. I never got to hold any of them, but I did get to see them and hear their little tiger kitten cries. That was kind of neat.
Little baby tiger.
Super cute. But
yeah, I bet.
By the time I got off my job, the Showbles already came to pick them up. So
you never did any baby cat jobs? Oh, that sucks. I got to do a couple.
I didn't do much with the cats, man. I only took the cats out 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
My experience with them is just mostly here.
You did quite a few though, right?
No, I don't think so. Maybe
I thought you did. Oh, okay.
Did we bring one to Snap-on's 50th anniversary
No,
party?
God, no, that. No. Oh, God, don't bring that place up again. Why? Dude, they were getting upset with us because the ponies were pooping and peeing on the pavement. They were getting upset because the ponies were pooping and peeing.
They told us we had to be there. Part of the contract was like they need to supply us with water too, and they weren't. We're like, we need to hook up. Like,
it was so hot.
This water, like these things need to drink.
I did Snap-on once. It was on the grass. It was fine.
Yeah, we were all on concrete.
They gave us Culver's ice cream.
Nice.
Like I had a good time.
Oh, that's cool. But that was probably the 100th because we did the 95th.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
I mean, it's 95th probably. Year. Yeah, that might add up.
But most of the people there were cool, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the people, but it was like just a certain couple people were just like, well.
They shit, right?
That's what we're trying to explain to them. It's like they're not a dog. They're not house trained.
Like put a fucking diaper on it?
I guess, but it's not going to stop piss
like
either.
We're going to clean it up when we're done. Like I'm going to hose it down.
And for some reason that day, I think we had Elpo. I think he peed more than he normally did. And yeah,
want no poopy concrete, bring me a hose, bitch.
I think they
snap on these nuts.
They eventually, but it took like half the day. Yeah, and they hooked it out because there was a hookup right outside, and so finally they got like one of their janitorial or maintenance people to bring us a roll. But
fuckers,
it was a cool picnic though because they were doing like drifting in the parking lot and shit. It was really cool.
When I did it for it was it's in Kenosha.
Yep.
At next to this giant old building. Almost looks like a giant church. It is an old giant church. I've been in there.
Yeah, we did it on Snap-on property.
It wasn't. But yeah, they gave us Culver's ice cream, so I didn't really care about anything else.
It's the little things.
So what was the best job you ever did?
The best
Brady
job?
Street.
Okay. Let's talk. All right. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Shane. Let's talk about Brady Street.
There's a picture of you on Google on the ramp at
No way, really?
Yeah, with the Pooh Crew shirt.
Yep. Looking big and beautiful.
You think about like your best job or your worst job and all the ones in between. Brady Street, there were some terrible things about it, but that was a fun job. I mean,
It is until you reach your breaking point.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think,
It's with the feet.
Fluffy reached his a lot quicker.
No, it took a while.
Well,
by the time we were tearing fences down, you were going to
done.
shoot someone.
I was
dude,
done.
he's done, yeah. But he was
But
the
that's
first.
because of that lady.
Yeah, and he's the first point of contact up there. He was at the top of the ramp, so it's like, I'm going to ride this, and then you got the people hanging on the fences. But remember, we got shawarma? They hooked us up with the food.
They gave me that shit on some cheese fries, bro.
So good.
Ooh.
Shout out to, what was it?
Casablanca.
They always treated us pretty good up there.
We should go there one of these days.
Yeah,
I don't hookah or none, but I'd go eat some.
That's right, they do have hookah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
And we had the wrestling right next to us. I mean, there was a lot going on, and then as the night, the Drake show too.
Literally across from the ramp.
And as the night goes on, obviously people are getting drunker and more belligerent, and you got the lady yelling about how it's animal abuse, and Aaron's explaining how a camel can hold 3 times their body weight.
Which I was calm. I was calm until she started climbing the fence. And I told her to get the fuck off the fence.
Then we were switching. We had 2, right? We were switching them out.
We had Omar and
Eli, right?
Maybe.
I think so, yeah.
So we had 2 camels. Fact we had Omar.
Yeah. But then Aaron trying to back out that trailer down them tiny little alleyways.
Dude.
Ooh, that was fun.
It's like, move.
You do shit like that, but you put a bowling ball dent in my fucking trailer.
I didn't see the tree, man. I'll never live.
I know, dude. He did do that like a pro. Once we were, he was ready to go. He was locked in. Just
he was ready to get the fuck out of there. I mean, like what? It was fucking midnight.
Yeah,
That job was 12 hours.
And the traffic when we were leaving. Oh my god.
I hope Bob got paid well for that. Probably not.
But no,
I hope so too, man.
He probably made like $2,000.
Yeah.
I bet.
The other thing too is just the volume of people like seeing the company. I guess is in a way that's a good thing.
So that was the worst job then?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have
now worse. I would say Little Boots. Would you?
Oh god.
Yeah, that's right. I never did it.
Oh, have you done?
I've done it. I did it with Nathan years ago before you guys did it.
Nathan loved Little Boots though because they loved him.
Yep.
Everything he ate for free. He drank for free. Like, man.
Why?
Dude, everywhere Nathan goes,
people love him.
People love him. He doesn't pay for food.
No,
he does not.
He never did.
I can't wait.
He's just aura farming at all times.
He is.
Yeah.
Level 1000.
Mm-hmm.
And when he pulls back up the Wisco, we got to get him on. He's got some tails.
Oh yeah.
Nathan's funny as fuck.
For sure.
But dude, he doesn't pay for food. He doesn't. I mean, it's more than food, man. It's trinkets. It's fucking dude, he is aura farming. There is no other way to put it.
It's gotta be it.
He's the fucking shit. Everybody loves him.
That was such a wild job.
And he's funny.
I hated Little Boots. Why are we running 8 ponies? Shut the fuck up. And
no shade.
that was Illinois, wasn't it? Yeah. So we're down in Illinois. I think you're sunburnt as fuck.
Oh, way bad.
Oh,
I basically had to yell at Mike to like make him take because who else was with us? Was it Cody?
Mike and Nathan? I think.
No, it was Cody or somebody else was burned as bad as me.
Kaylee,
Cody. Maybe Kaylee.
Kaylee, yeah, but they both burned.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, you got to take us to a Walgreens. Like, we need the green stuff.
We need some aloe.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I remember seeing when you guys came back, too.
Yeah, no shade all day. Like, what was it, 11 hours out there walking?
Dude, it was fucking torture. And from the side of me that is not a fucking tree hugger, them animals ain't need to be out there doing that.
No, you could tell there. Some of them were exhausted because we had a petting zoo for there too, right?
I don't remember. I just remember being stuck at the fucking ponies.
Yeah.
2 pony wheels.
Oh my god.
And I don't know.
I thought you meant that big 8 wheel.
I don't know if
that wasn't in shade either.
No, there was no shade on the whole property.
Man.
The only shade was on the camel ramp, basically at the top where the
fucking umbrella up
the
there.
loader would.
And I was probably only 17 or something at the time. I didn't know what the fuck sunscreen was.
Yeah.
I was just an idiot, Like, I'm too cool for sunscreen. Like,
yep.
I was not as burnt as these motherfuckers, but I mean, we all got a little sun for sure. Yeah, Little Boots sucks. And outside of that bullshit, it's just, there's never time to eat. It's hard to get a break. It doesn't fucking end.
No, there was no breaks.
And I don't know if we had 2 4-wheels or 2 6-wheels.
Oh.
I don't remember. It was a lot of fucking ponies, and God, it was awful. And for those of you that have never ran a fucking pony ride, first of all, don't. But you're just picking kids up and down and up and down and up and down and up, and it is 1,000,000% worse than a camel ride.
Oh yeah.
you know, 'cause you don't really have to lift kids
Country
on the
cross
camel
bull,
too
man.
much, you know. And then you get fat kids that want to ride the camel, and if you can't, I gotta tell them no, and you feel terrible, and I'm like, sorry, buddy, the buckle won't buckle around you. Dude.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my god.
I had that at a private one. He sent me out, and I had no business driving a trailer. he sent me with one pony for this little kid's birthday party.
Oh, party! I love party ponies.
Yeah, and it was cool, whatever. But there's like a girl that was, you know, same age as everybody, but she's like 3 times as big as everybody else. Not just this way, but this way. And I'm like, yeah, you can't ride this.
You had Gil too, right?
Yeah,
like
it was like the most chill pony we had. He sent me with.
I did a party pony once with Andrew. We also had no business driving a trailer. We had Hank because the little girl wanted Sparky or Hank. It was Hank. It was Hank.
Oh my god.
We took Hank though because he's white and the little girl wanted a unicorn. So you know we put a unicorn
Nice.
on Hank.
I'd have spray painted Gil first.
The job went fine, and we actually got tipped pretty well.
Yeah. Tips were always nice on those.
Anyway, lo and behold, we get home, man. And again, we were fucking young, had no business doing this shit on our own. We get home and it was the 2-horse, which them doors were fucking dog shit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I remember
the
that.
chain around it wasn't latched because the doors didn't really work. Thank God we got home with Hank. We'll put it that way. Why don't you like Hank? I mean, we don't like ponies. Right?
He exploded on me so many times,
like
man.
With diarrhea or
no, like just oh my god, there's a bag. And just would take the whole wheel and just say, "We're going this way now," and I'd be there.
Dude, we did a job in the Kmart parking lot up here in Racine. It was like
you're showing your age.
For real. Yeah, Kmart's no longer
Kmart,
here.
what's that?
So it was like some community day. I think it was brought by like the police department. You know, there were cops out there in a fire truck, and there was like some mobile wall climbing thing, and we had the pony rides and whatever. And I don't think we had the fences set up. We had the wheel out, and the ponies were on it, and I was gonna do the fences. I think. I don't know who the fuck I was with. Anyway, you know, McDonald's is right across the way here. Guess what flies over? Some McDonald's bags and napkins.
Oh.
These fucking ponies went from Kmart almost all the way to McDonald's with the fucking wheel. I can't make
Just
that
dragging
shit up.
it across
Just
the concrete.
dragging it
That's the
across.
problem with concrete. You can't stop them on concrete.
And
just sliding.
And with how dumb ponies are, I would have thought, sure as shit, one came back dead. These motherfuckers were in sync. Like, they didn't miss a beat. They all ran the same direction. Like,
they knew what was going on.
It maybe wasn't quite that far, but it was a pretty good
Sure,
distance,
it seemed like it, though.
man. It was...
When they're all attached to each other, yeah.
It was fucking dumb, man. So whoever I was with, you know, grabbed one side of the wheel, I grabbed the other, and we just told them to move up and walked it back. It took longer than it fucking should have.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we're walking a whole fucking 4-wheel and 4 ponies.
Thank God that fence wasn't there.
Seriously, though, like, that's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
That could have been really, really bad.
Yeah.
You know, and,
I think they would have just went through it.
And, you know, they used to send us out with the stakes. You know, they didn't do shit.
No.
If them ponies wanted to lift that fucking wheel up.
They did. They fucking Elpo. He did it.
Who's the worst pony, though, for you?
Man, that's a hard one. Because I hate them all. Except for Gil. Gil was all right.
Gil was okay.
Hank was pretty bad only because I was so bad with ponies.
You were definitely.
Yeah, ponies hate me. Dude, they threw me off when I was younger.
We did pretty good with them at Racine County Fair. I switched some out at
you did
7 Mile Fair.
When I started my first day on the job with ponies, I think we had Talos, Doc Thunder, and Norman.
Great ponies.
Yeah.
Little Norman.
They were so broken.
They did their job.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, there was that one time at Milwaukee County Zoo where I think it was Doc kicked that mom in the head, but it was her fault. She was fucking with his halter.
But that's Doc.
Or no, not his halter. What was
the reins?
No, because she kicked him in the head, so it couldn't have been his halter.
Like grabbing the tail?
She was doing something fucking stupid. The mom was fucking with this pony while her kid was next to it. So she got kicked in the fucking head. She was fine. So, maybe
There's not much there to begin
maybe
with.
an improvement.
I don't right. I don't remember the situation. But yeah, Milwaukee Zoo is like, you got to swap Doc out. We need another pony.
Yeah.
Which then, fucks up everything because they're like, where's our buddy going? And we're bringing in a new one. And at that, like,
Yeah.
I understand why people move animals like that, but we need to be upfront and honest with these fucking people. It was the lady's fault.
Oh, yeah.
She was fucking with this pony while her kid was near it. Like, that was fucking. People are so maybe it was the kid that got kicked while the
Probably.
mom fucked with it, because I really remember the mom trying to fuck
That
with this
sounds
pony's
familiar
holder.
to me even.
That makes like a lot of sense, honestly.
People are fucking dumb.
People are so dumb around animals. It's amazing we made it this far.
Seriously, it is. You know what my biggest fucking thing is? Running pony rides, man. God, I'm so lucky I don't have to do pony rides anymore. But the thing that rubbed me wrong the most, like I would just wanted to hurt people when they crossed the fucking rope.
Oh my god.
This rope is what stops the ponies.
Yep.
And if you jump this rope and trip over it, we're all going to die.
We're gonna die.
We are all going to
Want
fucking
to see what a
die.
stampede looks like?
Seriously, like, so we would tie the ponies off with this rope. So when the ponies were done, they would stop walking, because them motherfuckers, once they get going, they walk.
They don't keep count. I don't keep count. We just walk until we
Let's be honest about that. They know what 8 laps is.
Yeah.
They will stop.
Never did that at the zoo though. Did like 5 at the zoo.
You try to get them to 6 or 7, whatever the number isn't. They're like, "Excuse me."
No, we know this job, dude.
We know we did.
How many do they do? They do that at Ren Fair. They do 8.
No, fuck no. Ren Fair's too busy. I think
Yeah.
it's like 4 or 5.
I swear they probably just have a never-ending line for the entirety of the day.
I'm so glad I never had to do that job.
You never did Ren Fair with the ponies?
No, we built the lean-to for them.
We were melting out there.
I did that shit far too much.
Really? I didn't know you worked there that much.
It's so fucking hot.
Well, dude, when we were building
That's like a
the
jungle
lean-to
dog.
out there, behind the ride, dude, my drill started smoking. It was so hot, and we were putting like 8-inch screws in, and it was a Craftsman bolt-on drill, not meant for this, right? And all of a sudden, I'm like, and I was starting to
Oh, is that when you were up there with the plastic?
Yeah. When I'm putting the roof on, and dude, it was just starting to melt. The drill was starting to melt. I'm like, I don't think we're gonna finish this. And Bob had this little itty bitty Milwaukee, like 12 volt or 8 volt or whatever. And the screws were just like, I'm like, my drill sucks.
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
I've yet had a drill smoke out on me.
I mean, again, it was an old Craftsman bolt on, but
Right.
it's the one you could put the sander on and shit.
Well, Brant, what was your favorite part of the gig?
Which one?
Just in general. Like, what'd you like?
Just working with the animals, man. Like it's rewarding in a way that's hard to describe. I mean,
Better than
whether
what we do
it's
now.
a gig like where you're doing a job or just being here with everybody. Like I think we all had like a camaraderie too built around.
Oh,
that.
huge, yeah.
I mean, what other job do you know of that people stick around after hours just to hang out and shoot the shit?
For sure.
And we did that a lot.
Yeah, like a couple beers, chilling, just kind of decompressing through the day because we're all in it together.
Couple usually turned into a 30-pack.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
I wasn't old enough to drink.
But yeah, we're out there doing fences, we're filling the water or changing those auto filter things. I mean, it's something that you could like be proud of your work because you're like, at the end of the day, your efforts are making it like nice for the animals. And that's like, why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
I just remember we came back from Ren Fair building this stuff one day and nothing was filled and like it was hotter and shit. And we were just like yelling at the kids, like, if you're hot, they're hot. If you're thirsty, they're thirsty. Like, why wouldn't you do this for them? Like, think about it.
And I'm not very confrontational for the most part, but I was pissed that day.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta have fucking water.
Yeah.
Like, that's
we went on a
basic
tear. We
way.
just basically started by like the elephant barn and went back and over to like the kangaroo, basically just and then out to the pasture and just changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the biggest problem around here was cheap help.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally believe in giving kids jobs and opportunities, but they got to be
absolutely.
heavily monitored.
Yeah.
They need some supervision for sure.
Absolutely. Like, you can't have an animal out when it's 80, 90 degrees and don't have no fucking water. You're going to lose that fucking animal.
Yeah.
That's a basic, not a human right. That's a basic living right.
Mm-hmm.
You need fucking water, like, I don't care how inconvenient it is. And let's be honest, and at least in my opinion, doing waters, it is fucking, it's a shitty chore.
Especially in the winter.
But you got to do it. You
gotta
gotta
do
it. Yeah, it's terrible in the fucking winter.
Oh my God.
At least the camels don't really like to drink too much then.
Yeah.
You know, they go pretty slow on their fucking water, but in turn it grows quicker.
Does it?
Grows in it quicker. You know?
Well, I remember all the ice chunks from like all the goat, because you'd have to flip them over, beat it with a batter, a piece of wood or axe handle, whatever you had, flip it back over, fill that one up. Well, that one's filling up. You got to beat the rest of them. It was, and that's when we had water working.
Yeah, I don't play that shit no more. It's heated water for everybody.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that bullshit.
Until Newton eats another one.
I'll fucking kill him. Well, the problem is I kept getting the water get too low so he could get to it. But he only ate it when the heater was unplugged because he didn't burn his fucking lips.
Yep.
and then over the course of the winter, I kept, we'd have like a 40-degree day, so I'd unplug the water heater. And then I didn't realize that the water was getting just a little too close to the water heater, and Newton would pick it up and bend it. I was like, dude, them things are like $40 fucking.
Yeah.
Stop. He broke 2 of them.
I showed up a couple times. He was furious.
I let Newton know that I was not happy with him.
Don't fuck with it.
I had to hold him back, man.
So at this point, next winter going into it, if the water gets too low, I'm just leaving it plugged in. Burn your lips.
Mhm.
Which sound, people are gonna be like, oh my God, that's terrible. But they learn. They're animals. It's like a kid putting their hand on a
They got it. Yeah.
He's not dumb.
and it's not worth me losing $40. Let's be fucking real. I was at a church this Christmas with Newton, just up in probably far Raymond or something. I don't know. And they had one of them propane heaters like you have, the big tower ones.
Mm-hmm.
And Newton was just so intrigued with this fucking heater, dude. And I was like, don't do it, dude. And I kept pulling his fucking head away, and he just kept putting his lips even closer. And their lips, they extend, and I pulled his head away like a dozen times, and I ended up tying him to the fence and then walking away no, I didn't walk away. I was just I don't know, I was moving something. I was doing something, and anyway, fucking 30 seconds go by, I hear fucking little camel yelp. This motherfucker was touching the fucking propane heater, dude.
Yep, just like children, man. Touch the oven. Go ahead, touch it. You'll figure it out.
Right. You ain't gonna do it again, I promise. And guess what he didn't do again?
Yeah.
Touch the fucking propane heater,
You try.
Learned.
Fucking dingus.
Yeah, because you used to walk camels, right?
Yeah.
Like after
Jerry Smith. And
oh, yeah, you did
a lot of
Smith's.
places.
Oh, dude, remember when we were in the back corner and the same 10 songs would play?
Yeah. And Doofus was rutting, so he's just blowing foam bubbles.
Oh, that's
everywhere.
right. He was in rut.
I called Bob, like, it's really off-putting, and we're not doing good on rides today because they think he has rabies.
They did.
The average Joe doesn't know that that's what that is. Also, he's like pissing on his tail and whipping it on his back, which I guess I learned that's what, a thing to attract females.
Can be. Or they do it to throw piss at you, so they're pissed off.
Yeah, they're just doing it to be a dick. But
I love that shit. That's so funny to me.
Right. Oh, dude, people were covered in it. We warned them, too. We're like, we might get covered in piss.
Yeah. But it's fun explaining to everybody, too, give them a little education. Like, yeah, this is what they do when they rut.
Yeah, if he's in rut, you could die here.
He wants to mount that pony, but
he would.
We're going to time our rides so that they don't meet up along the fence line.
Until you get complacent and you're like not paying attention, and the pony's right there, and he goes, "Hi."
So this was when the pony rides were led over there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh my God.
He would stop and like try to get over the fence.
Mm-hmm.
He like, hurry up, pony. Because that was like a different one, right? Where we did like a track for the ponies and the camel. They weren't attached to a wheel.
Well, and the ponies seen God that day, dude. Like when he came over the fence, they're like, "Oh shit!" There was only like 2 or 3 of them at the time. Yeah.
Only one thing.
Your holes.
And you might give it to him.
You don't care what kind of pony you are.
At least we had fire tamales and apple cider and cookies.
Yeah, we had
a cold one too, I remember.
Yeah.
I love eating at Jerry Smith's. Their chili is so good. I don't care if it comes out of a bag.
Shout out to Jerry Smith's.
Shout out Jerry Smith's.
Yeah.
Sure. We gotta get Flynn ready. He needs to go to Smith's probably in August.
Yeah, that's
for
what you're saying.
A runoff event.
He'll be ready. We gotta break some shoes in to get him going.
I need some.
Hey, Brant, you want to walk a camel?
I was thinking about earlier before you got here. I'm like, dude, he's super chill. And they're like, for now.
Yeah.
He's like, what if I just walk him around?
You can walk him around. He leads fine.
Yeah.
He rides shittily, but he rides, you know.
He's getting there.
That'll only get better, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's gonna be a good camel. He's not the killer that the lady thought he was. And I mean, he fucked people up down there. That's why he's here. But he's
big boy. Probably doesn't know his strength.
He's a fucking brat.
Oh, he fucking knows, and he knows how tall he is too.
He does know his height. That's fucking for damn sure.
We were trying to get the halter back on him. He's like, nope.
We got to start trailer breaking him too ASAP.
Yeah,
getting working on the foot ropes and stuff, and we just got to start getting through it with him for sure.
Trailer won't be too bad.
I hope not. I mean, it only took us 10 minutes or so to get him down in Missouri. Yeah. It's been a.
Do they cush inside, or do they just stand the whole time?
Some cush.
Both, yeah. You can when you're driving them camels, you feel them sit up and get down and shit, man.
Well, because were you on the job when the doors flew open with Omar?
No.
So yeah, we were driving with the camel trailer, and somebody pulled up next to us when Jamie was driving, I think, and they're like, "Hey!" We're like, "What does that mean?" Oh shit, the back door. We pulled over, and both back doors flung open. They came out of their holes somehow. Illinois roads.
Jesus.
And we got to the back, and Omar's sitting down facing forward, and he looks back like, "Bro, what the fuck?" We're like, "Sorry, dude, here you go." That was like terrifying.
What trailer was that on?
Camel trailer.
Jamie had another story too. I don't remember which camel. We need to get Jamie on here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which camel, but he said whatever trailer they were in, all the floorboards fell out.
I want to say that was Kingston, maybe.
And he swore that when he opened the door to this trailer, that the camel's legs were spread to the corners of the trailer.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, he's just all corners. I want to say that was Duke. I'm almost positive that was Duke.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
That is.
So they lost a whole floor.
It's like rescuing a trailer with no brakes.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
We still do that.
Do you remember when you crawled into the small one with Daniel?
That was the brush buster.
Yeah, we had to go by Great America. You guys were coming back from a Illinois job.
I don't know if I've ever rode in a trailer.
Yes, you did. You and Daniel did.
Because I brought the Dakota down because the other truck broke
Not the
down.
fucking Dakota.
You went with him, yeah.
I think I brought you with me.
Yep. Just in case.
And it was just Aaron and Daniel. And maybe one other person, but they...
Because me and...
Sure it wasn't like Georgie or nothing?
It might have been Georgie. I could have sworn... No, it was Daniel, because we were on that crazy job where we got the yellow shirts, and the lady kept using her phone and saying, "It's not a phone, it's a banana." And then Daniel started doing it.
Familiar.
Yeah.
God, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Aaron took back roads because there was literally no brakes, dude.
Yeah.
He was like slowing this thing down on frontage roads with just the weight.
Yeah.
Me and Daniel rode home in the trailer?
Yeah, because there was no room in the truck.
Yeah, it's not a...
And the green truck broke down.
It's just two-seater. Right?
Yeah, the green truck broke down.
The very first fucking time I think that Dakota went out, when I remember going out, was hauling fucking Sabrina to a birthday party in Illinois. And that truck started to fucking overheat, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It did.
That junk ass $2,000 ass fucking truck. We had some fucking trucks around here, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Driving that thing back and forth from Ren Fair all summer though.
I got pulled over. Me and Cody got pulled over in that thing going to Ren Fair, and I didn't have a seatbelt on, and I was going in the fast lane because I was like, whatever, we'll get there quicker or I'll die. One of the two. I don't care. I hated my life at the point. And get pulled over, and he's like, "You're not wearing your seatbelt." I was like, "Well, to be honest, sir, I'd rather be thrown out of this tetanus-ridden thing," but that thing had rust everywhere.
Do you remember that little white Dodge that Al used to drive? It was like her personal truck. It was a little white Dodge.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one we had. That's when we were going.
The one with the hole in the floor?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I swear to you that truck pulled the brush buster. I've seen it. I seen it with my eyes. And it was like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I seen it. I fucking seen it.
Hauled it some sketchy things just hauled it home back.
Yeah, hauled it home from 7 Mile Fair like that, dude.
Oh my god, that trailer was so fucking heavy.
Triaxle, 30 feet long, if not more. Probably 32 with the top, or 34.
Yeah, such a solid fucking truck.
God,
trailer.
Yeah, fuck them truck. Yeah, there was literally a hole in the floor of that truck, dude. Like, but that red Dakota, man. Oh my god, dude.
Red Dakota. That was fucking the white truck. You came and picked us up in the white truck.
Yeah, the white Dakota.
Yeah, that was Al's truck. We had it hooked to the brush buster.
The tiger story, I'm talking about the red Dakota.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Talking about
what
the
I'm
white
talking about is
Dakota.
the white Dakota.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Both just as junk.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we had the white truck you picked us up in.
Yeah, and it had no brakes.
No.
And the trailer had no brakes.
Because I had a downshift on the tree.
Dude.
From like I was that's how I was driving it, from the tree.
Dude, remember we pulled over and like just like to decompress. Aaron was white knuckling. He's like, I need a cigarette.
What?
Like, gotta smoke.
Were you pulling home ponies or? And I'm just
no, the camels.
camel, and I'm just in the trailer.
You and Dan.
Well, yeah.
Shut the fuck
You
up.
guys were by the nose.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe this was me because I feel
I
like I
talked to
remember.
Daniel, dude. I'm telling you,
Even
I
we were
wonder
both
if it was
dude, this is
George,
Such a
dude.
shitty idea. It could have been George.
it could have been.
Could have died.
We all could have died.
Fuck
You
guys.
were in a safer place than we were.
I don't know about that. That trailer's aluminum.
The Brushbuster?
Oh, the Brushbuster again.
Yeah.
The heaviest fucking trailer. That was steel though. Oh my god. Were we on the freeway? No, you said
That's
you
when the brakes went off.
The back brakes.
We got on the front of the road as soon as possible.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. And so hauling animals, no truck brakes, no trailer brakes, blah 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 blah. This truck was so fucking rusted out. How much a day were you getting paid at this point? Because I was probably only making $50 a day.
Yeah, you guys were
risking
making-
my life, fucking working 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
I might have been up 80, maybe.
Dude,
maybe
that's what
90.
I ended at, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I was like
God.
45 to 60, depending on what we did.
Yeah, it all depended on what I did, yeah.
the shit we did to be around these animals. This was the real Tiger King shit.
No
around
shit.
here.
Yeah, dude. That's
Like,
why when that series came out, it was just so
It was
Even
too real.
relatable. Like every person in that show was like someone we worked with.
Yep.
damn near for sure. Every crazy motherfucker on that show, I could relate to somebody. That
Carol Baskins, Kathy. Like right there. That's an easy one.
Easy.
Who was that guy we
Still
still
Bob.
off with? He's basically like one of Joe Exotic's husbands. I mean,
Mike?
yeah.
Oh.
That's crazy as fuck.
Getting sniped and shit.
That's crazy as hell.
Then you have
Damn.
he had a ghillie suit and he was sniping us.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was Jeff. Jeff had the ghillie suit.
Okay.
Oh, that would make sense because Jeff's gay.
Yeah, Jeff
Yeah,
is gay.
Jeff
yeah.
Maher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I was like, Mike's not gay. I mean, I could see it, but
Yeah.
he's not gay.
With the long hair though, don't help his cause.
Right. And his pink tank tops and his pink M4 that he shoot us.
He reminds me of the guy from Righteous Gemstones with
Never seen it.
oh, never mind.
It's funny. What the fuck? The things we have done, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
I suppress so many memories from here
me too.
because of how many times I've almost died.
Mhm.
That like I have a million stories I just don't remember.
Or we'd just be working, doing our chores. Some random person comes in like, "Hey, you got some goats out on the road?"
Dude,
All the
Like,
time.
all the fucking time.
One time
Bro.
was a police officer.
Yep.
We'd have to, we'd hop in a truck and pull up to fucking the corner of 5 Mile.
Get a shepherd's crop.
Dude, it depended on how many of them there were, you
Yeah,
know,
they
we
just
just fucking
flip
throw them over the fence or like, a lot of the time it was.
Yeah.
And that was annoying
because
because,
they could slip through.
yeah, if they can get out, they can get back in. And I don't know, you don't want them to get hit by a car or nothing, but like, God damn it, dude. If one more sometimes it was multiple times a fucking day.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
You're in the middle of doing chores or the zoo's packed full. It's like you got goats out like
Or the birds, yeah. When I was fixing the aviary little thing or whatever.
when Shane let Bill go.
That was like in one of my first months here.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh my
I was new, man. I thought I was gonna lose my job. Little did I
No.
know that nobody cared about anything.
I got yelled at because Bob told me to like put this netting up right. Well, I use zip ties.
Mm-hmm.
Them birds will just
Yep.
snap them.
Well, they'll eat the netting.
Yeah.
you know.
They did.
One of them just went through and just systematically just took them all apart.
Yep.
And he goes, "No, you got to use the wire, dude." And I'm like, "Okay."
Fucking yeah, that was.
Well, that was you and me
Think an
building that.
an African gray got out or something. They
Yeah.
came back.
Yeah, it was me and you building that. And that's the day I fell off the ladder too. We were doing the top.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I fell off the ladder, so you had to finish doing the top. Cause I was like fucked up.
That's
You
why I
always
made a
fuck
really good.
yourself up.
I got a really good relationship with Princess working in there.
Do you want her?
She's
her,
free.
Take her the fuck home.
I don't know if Jet would vibe with that.
That's okay. They'll get along.
All she does is scream. She wants a friend.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember I was bringing Bill in for the night, and he just flew off the stick.
Bye.
Not my fucking fault. I don't.
The macaw.
Yeah,
The red macaw.
red
Oh
macaw.
yeah, I remember seeing him. Oh, like there he is. He's way up
the
in this
scarlet,
tree.
and
Yeah.
And
Came back the next day.
I mean, I was young, and I mean, I don't know how to clip birds' wings. That's something for senior staff to keep their wings
We did that the
clipped.
next day. Yeah, we
And
did that
blah
the
blah
next
blah
day.
blah. And I just went to Fluffy. I was like, "Look, dude, I don't think Bob was in town. I think he was gone."
No, but what's his name was here. He's the one that grabbed him.
Danny.
Tommy.
Oh,
Pretty sure Tommy grabbed him the
Right.
next day. I'm almost positive it was Tommy grabbed him the next day. Because I was like, you caught him? The fuck?
Officer Thumbs.
just so random. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to drive out to wherever it was to get the 1,000 pounds of frozen meat with him.
Oh,
Dude, that place fucking stinks.
horrible.
Bad, dude. So bad.
Right next to that abandoned amusement park, too.
Yes.
Oh,
You
What
smell it on the way. Like, you're like,
It
Oh,
smells
yeah.
like death.
we must
for
be
down
close.
here.
I remember pulling in there the first time I went there. I had the windows down, not thinking. All of a sudden, swarm flies. I was just like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't beat that deal. What he was paying, like $200 for 1,000 pounds of meat?
I don't remember.
It was
It's their throwaway
ridiculous,
shit.
yeah.
I've been meaning to
It was
call
like a
them.
day expired from the grocery
No, it was
stores,
rendered.
and then they would.
It's too
grind it.
rendered. It's
Yeah.
all the shit that they don't want.
Oh,
Or it's
cow.
or if a cow dies on the field, they bring it there. That's
Oh,
why you're not
okay.
supposed to consume it.
Yeah, it's just all the everything into a tube, man.
That's why it
Yeah.
smelled like fucking garbage when it Oh, that and the chicken. You remember feeding out chicken?
yeah.
The chicken beaks and feet?
Yeah.
no, never
Sick.
did that. Thankfully,
Dude,
shit.
you take a scoop and scoop this just like slurry of chicken.
yeah.
Like just,
Ugh.
you can't make out what it is.
It's so
Okay.
slimy and
It smelled
nasty.
so bad, dude. Oh my God.
I've been meaning to call them guys and see what their meat's going for these days in case we ever do end up getting another cougar down here.
You want
but
a cougar?
I really want a cougar.
I've been watching all kinds of bobcat videos where people have them as pets.
They're fucking cool cats, man.
Bobcats are cool.
They can get big.
I like lynx more just because they got the pointy ears.
Me too. Lynx and caracals, those guys are dope, man.
You ever notice though how those caracals, when they're like domesticated in the house, like they get real fat?
I haven't.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
really round. If you see what they look like in the wild, like compared to like these house ones, you're like, that's
Well,
a different
motherfuckers are
thing.
giving them cans of chicken every day.
Yeah, right. They're spoiling the shit out of them.
It's like everybody comes here is like, why is the skunk so small? Because it's not eating everything in its fucking sight out of your trash bin and all the berries and bugs and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
God.
a good diet.
Right. Something like that. Eats better than me. Fucking
Most of your animals eat better than you.
yeah. And we're going to go eat like shit after this.
Yeah, but we're getting chicken wings. We'll be good.
I can't. I hope they're as good as they used to be. You know, the reason I actually learned about DeMarc's is my buddy Lucas had a podcast, and they had a deal where if you went in and mentioned their podcast, they'd give you 10% off.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
You should try it today.
I don't even remember what his podcast was called at this point.
Something podcast. 10%? Yeah.
Whatever. What day is it? All right. You guys ready to go eat some wangs?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure speaking one more time this week. We will catch all of you guys next week. You fellas across the table, without further ado.
Happy hump day, everybody.
Auf Wiedersehen.
English?
Goodbye.